Okay, I know. Everyone's like, Catherine, I thought you were going to do a Dance Moms video. Where the Dance Moms content? That's all we care about, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I need to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I know everyone is talking about it. I don't care. We need to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I need to give you my thoughts and feelings on Gypsy Rose Blanchard because I am concerned. Is Gypsy Rose okay? People always say that it's like a red flag when a girl is like obsessed with true crime and murder and all that kind of stuff. Honestly, not gonna disagree with you. I kind of agree, and that's coming from me. I watch every single Bailey Sarian video. I have seen pretty much every single murder true crime documentary that every single streaming service has to offer. I'm literally wearing Bailey Sarian sweatpants right now. I could talk forever about that because it is very bizarre how obsessed we all are with that. Beside the point. Today we're going to talk about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. This case and this woman has gripped the world by the throat and just held on. I think I know why. What is this doing here? Why is that like that? Because the case is so bizarre. Like, is Gypsy Rose a good person? Is she a bad person? Who's the bad guy here? Like, is the mom the bad guy? Is Gypsy Rose the bad guy? Is the other guy, Nicholas or whatever, is he the bad guy? Who's the bad guy? Are they all bad guys? Like, what the heck was up with this? And how did it go unnoticed for so long? I get why the case is so insane. You can ask people who are not true crime fans and don't know a lot about stuff, who is Gypsy Rose Blanchard? They're gonna know who she is. I even texted my parents to ask if they knew who she was to prove my point, and they had no idea who she was. But I still stand by what I said. People know who she is. And then she got out of prison like earlier this year, and chaos ensued. She's on TikTok, she's on Instagram, everyone's obsessed. I'm a huge stan. I'm following her. I'm like, yes girl, try on those outfits, go these places you can go, live your life. I'm obsessed. Then she got a deal with Lifetime to do Life After Lockup, which is like a show already, but it was like Life After Lockup Gypsy Rose edition, and it was like a whole season. I think there's gonna be more seasons. My cat is meowing. So she does Life After Lockup, which is a TV show I've never seen before, but I've heard about it. And then this was just focusing on Gypsy Rose for like 8 episodes. I watched the whole thing. I watched every single episode. And now we need to talk about this because I genuinely need to know, is Gypsy Rose okay? Right off the bat, I need to say, throughout this entire show, I kept having to remind myself that this woman is in her 30s. Like, she is not a child. She is a full-grown adult. Because she acts like a teenager. She is so reckless. And I kept having to be like, oh my God, this woman is 32 years old. Like, she is not 20. I get it. Because she lost her entire childhood. She had to literally spend most of her life being treated like a child and having to act like a child. Then she was in prison through her 20s, so she didn't really get a chance to do any of that stuff. She's living life for the first time. There's a point when her dad says like something about she's making 18-year-old decisions. But as the show goes on, it gets increasingly more worrisome and increasingly more like, why is no one saying to her, like, stop, just sit down and stop it? In all honesty, the show is kind of boring until the end. The last like 2 episodes are very dramatic, and there's like points in it that are very like, that was uncomfortable, that was weird, like, why'd you say that? The show like launches right into her husband picking her up from prison. She does not even get a second. Cameras in the car, cameras in her face, already filming the show, and she is stepping a foot out of prison. This is problem number 1 for me. I get it. She's a grown adult. She can make her own decisions. This is the first time in her life that she is able to make her own decisions, and that was probably very important for her. And I have a feeling that her family and stuff is probably wrestling with that a lot, of like, how much do we tell her what to do because she is sensitive to that, because she grew up being told what to do by her mom for literally everything. But, and maybe they did. Maybe someone advised her and said, I don't think this is a good idea, girly. But why did no one step in and be like, no, we are not doing a reality TV show? And if we are, maybe we wait like 6 months. Because I don't know if she realized, I don't know if anyone realized the culture shock she was going to have getting out of prison and how difficult it was going to be to combat that with lifetime cameras stuck in your face 24 hours a day. And I don't know how this show came to fruition. I don't know if she approached Lifetime asking to do this. I don't know if they approached her. I don't know whose idea this was. I don't know what kind of conversations they had. I don't know who coached who. I don't know if she just was like, I'm gonna do this, and everyone was like, okay, or if maybe her family was on board. Maybe they're like, yeah, this is a great idea. I'm sure she's getting some sort of compensation for this because, you know, she's gonna need money and all that shit. But I really feel like someone should have sat her down and been like, girly, bad idea. Like, this is not going to go the way you think it's going to go. And this is not going to be easy. And this is not going to be pretty. Someone needs to just tell this girl to just disappear. Like, just stay out of the public eye, live your life, get your shit together, get your life on track, go to therapy, like, just and maybe she thought, I can handle it. Maybe someone said, like, girly, this is going to be really difficult. You're going to have culture shock. This is going to be hard. And she's like, yeah, no, I can do this. And maybe she thought she could handle it. And then she couldn't. Maybe she still thinks she's handling it. I don't think she is. The culture shock just from leaving prison is going to be insane without cameras present. The culture shock for her leaving prison is going to be even more insane because she basically lived in a prison her whole life with her mom. Then her mom dies. She immediately goes to prison and then lives in that prison. This is the first time she's out in the world as like a free person. Even more of a culture shock. And then you're going to throw cameras on top of that? The first episode, she honestly seems to handle things pretty well. She seems to have a pretty good head on her shoulders. She seems to be relatively level-headed about everything. She's trying her best to handle stuff. Like, you know, she has like a breakdown crying when like the parole officer's like, no, you got to get the heck out of Missouri, I think she's in. And you have to go back to Louisiana immediately. And she wanted to go to the Chiefs game and blah, blah, blah. And she cries, obviously, because she's scared that they're going to send her back to prison. Understandable breakdown. A husband handles the situation terribly. We'll circle back to him in a little bit. So she says like a couple times in the first episode, like, I just want to be a normal person and like live like a quiet, normal life now and stuff. Like, this is my first chance to do that. Okay, so like, why are you doing a reality show then? Like, don't do that. Like, if you want to truly live a normal, quiet life, then don't do a reality show the second you get out of prison. So she got married. In prison, she married this guy, Ryan. Guy A, Ryan. She married Ryan while she was still in prison. Guy B, Ken, was her ex-boyfriend. She dated him while she was in prison. They were engaged, ex-fiance. They were engaged. He broke up with her. Shortly after, she meets Ryan, Guy A. They get engaged. She's in prison. They get married. She's in prison. She gets out of prison. He picks her up. They're married already. This guy, out of the picture for now. Forget about him for a minute. Ryan, we're married. This is concern number 2 for me. She married the guy in prison. This is literally the first time that they are together for longer than a couple hours at a time. First time they can touch. First time they can talk, like, you know, unfiltered? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Unsupervised. They can talk unsupervised without prison people listening in. And they're trying to navigate being newlyweds. Already a challenge. Already maybe not a challenge, but already, a different way of life. And then you're going to stack in, they're now living together for the first time, and she just got out of freaking prison, and they got cameras filming them. They're filming a freaking reality show. Whose idea was this? She says her marriage is stable. Episode 1, marriage is stable. Okay, but she also almost immediately after saying that says she's not over Ken. This is all personal stuff that she should be dealing with her husband and her familia, not Lifetime. And it's Lifetime. Oh my God, I just put that together. Lifetime. I hate Lifetime. They ruin people's lives. Do you think Jeff Collins was behind this? I gotta Google it. Okay, no Jeff Collins. These people. It's always Lifetime. It's always freaking Lifetime. Okay, sorry. Just put that together, apparently. Anyway, Ryan. Okay, we're back to Ryan now. I don't like Ryan. I don't like him one little itty bitty little bit. One, why did he want to marry her? No, I'm not saying that Gypsy Rose is not a deserving person. She is a human. She deserves love and happiness and marriage, and she deserves all that stuff. It's just sus that these people, Ryan and Ken, I'm gonna wrap Ken in this too, wrote to her in prison. Like, you don't write to people in prison for murdering their mother or assisting the murder of their mothers for no reason. Like, that's weird. That is weird, number one. Then also, like, I saw someone else make a video about this, and they brought up this thing of, like, when she went to prison and, like, through the trial and stuff, all the pictures that you saw of her were, like, stuff with her mom when she's, like, in the wheelchair and, like, looks like a little girl. That's what these people saw, and then they wrote to her in prison? That's creepy. That's creepy, and that's weird. And that's disturbing. And my cat will not stop meowing outside the door. Okay, so weird number one, they wrote to her in prison. Why? Why did he want to marry her? Like what was your motive behind this? And he says something. Here. Hold on. This is paraphrasing. This is not a verbatim quote. He found her story, like when she was in prison, found her story, and she seemed super cool and nice, and he wanted to get to know her. But all the world knew about her at that point was that she did all the shit with her mom and all. Like, what do you mean she seemed super cool and nice? In that story, she seemed super cool and nice? What part of that was super cool and nice? I don't know. I'm going to try and find the clip of him saying that. I think it was in the original documentary, so I don't know if I can find that, but I will try to find it.
I first learned about Gypsy watching her story. Her story, just hit me. And I thought, gosh, she's cute. Like one of those things where I was like, Gypsy's very cute. Tiger King was very popular at the time. And so my friend said, oh, I really want to write Tiger King. And I said, okay, well, I'll make a deal with you. I said, you write Tiger King, I'll write Gypsy Rose Blanchard. And that's what happened.
I don't know. It just seems sus. And I don't know this guy. Maybe he had good intentions. Maybe it's true. I just feel like you don't write to someone in prison, especially someone, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who is famous. She was famous overnight. Just because, she seemed like a really cool girl, and I just kind of wanted to, like, get to know her. He may love her personality now, and they got to know each other, and that's all great and well. I just feel like the initial reasoning is just weird. Second off, this man is a teacher. Great. We love a teacher. The world needs teachers. The children need to be taught. You are telling me that this man genuinely thought, as a teacher and educator of children, he genuinely thought it was a good idea for him to A, marry a felon, B, go on a reality TV show. And C, go on a reality TV show and talk about his like personal sex life. He brings it up a lot. They get out of prison, or not they. She gets out of prison. He picks her up. Instantly they get in the car and he's like, "Ooh, you look so sexy. Ooh, I can't wait to rub your leg and stuff."
Love you.
I love you. I'm
You
ready
look so
to go.
good. You look so good.
The car is moving. Oh my god.
Yeah, baby, we're out. We're out.
Oh, it so feels so weird being in a car.
Yeah, I get to touch your leg. Oh, I missed you.
I miss you too.
Your students are probably going to watch this, bro. Like, you are an educator of the children, of the youth of America. And you're sitting here talking about sex and sexing up your wife on TV, on Lifetime, on national television. And you thought this was a good idea? And then later in the show, he gets pissed because Gypsy Rose goes and hangs out with her sister and talks about sex stuff, about like how Ryan didn't use protection and blah, 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 but she's not pregnant and blah, 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 blah. Talks about that with the sister. Cameras are present. Then he gets pissed that she talked about that with cameras present because it told the world that. You're on reality TV. What did you expect? You can't have secrets. Also, you're a teacher. Why did you do this from the jump? Like, did you genuinely think that, like, the parents of your students and the staff at your school was going to be like, "Oh, you married Gypsy Rose Blanchard? Great job, dude." First episode, it's like Christmas. This man bought her Louboutin red bottom heels. He is a teacher. On a teacher's salary, he bought her Louboutin red bottom heels. Those are like $800. It felt like a power play to me. It felt like he was like staking his territory. Then after he gives her the shoes, her dad gives her a Christmas gift, and it's like a necklace, and it says like this nice little thing about dad, how he loves her and stuff, and he's her dad and blah, 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 blah. And then the camera pans over Ryan, and he's sitting in the corner like pissed. He's pissed. He is so upset that like this necklace, like, and Gypsy cried when she got the necklace and stuff. She didn't cry at your Louboutins, Ryan. Ryan's like, what the fuck? Like, I got upstaged by the necklace. Like, this is her dad. And then later they're in the car and he says this.
I think this necklace looks so pretty with this
it's
sweater.
gorgeous. I just wish my name was in it.
What, bro? This is a nice thing with her dad, and you're like, "Well, we should have my name on it. Why doesn't it about me?" Well, this is like a nice thing with her dad. And also, she didn't really have a relationship with her dad prior to prison because her mom like hated him and like didn't allow her to talk to her dad. Let them have their moment. He does like a lot of weird stuff in this show that like is just kind of possessive and strange. Like, even when Gypsy's like talking on the phone with her parole officer and he's like cutting in and like interrupting her when she's like talking to other people, he like cuts in and interrupts and tries to like take control of the situation and stuff. Later in the show, she says she wants to delete her social media because it's like too much for her. Yes, girl, good idea. Do that. Do it. And he's like, he's like, "No, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. We need the revenue." How about she gets a job? But also, like, if this is too much for her, you need to support her. Like, don't sit there and be like, "No, you can't delete your social media because you need the revenue." Who cares? Like, let the girl live. He just seems controlling. Like, there's a point where her dad is like, "I feel like I haven't gotten time with just Gypsy, like, since she got out of prison," and like they're trying to mend their relationship and stuff. So Gypsy goes and spends the weekend at her parents' alone, like without Ryan. Ryan stays home. Ryan hates this. Ryan does not like this because he cannot control and he cannot watch her every move. He like is texting her like, "When can we video call me?" And she's like, "I'm with my family, bro. Like, I'm not video calling you right now." Ryan doesn't like this. Ryan's pissed. Ryan texts her and is like, "I don't give a shit about your dad's time. I don't really care that he wants to spend time with you. Like, I want to be with you. I want to be with my wife." And Gypsy's like, I'm with my family, bro.
This is what he said. The very middle text is what he said the first night that I was here.
I'm going to be honest about something. I could really give a about your dad. Wow. That's unbelievable. It's a shame he feels that way.
I don't like him. I think he's a weird dude. Weird dude. Okay, Ryan. We're done with you. Stepmom Christie. I despise Stepmom Christie. Stepmom Christie is a mess. Stepmom Christie. I'm going to stop calling her Stepmom Christie. Christie, for some reason, has never stopped contacting Ken, the ex-fiance. Still has his number. They talk on the phone. They text. So, you're telling me that we are letting Gypsy Rose make mistake after mistake after mistake. She's on social media. She's on a reality show. She's getting married. And this is where you choose to step in, Christy? You choose to meddle and get with the ex-boyfriend situation? Where was this energy stopping her from being on a reality TV show and letting her live a normal, quiet life and adjusting appropriately to America and life? But you chose instead to contact the ex-boyfriend, talk to him several times. She says she's in contact with him multiple times in the show. They're like, oh, Christy was texting Ken this morning. Oh, Christy talked on the phone with Ken yesterday. Christy talked on the phone with Ken for 2 hours.
Me and Ken never lost in touch.
But see, that's what makes me...
No, it was like,
don't cut me off.
Happy birthday and stuff. You cut me off.
Calling to, well, texting you to check in. And Ken checked in.
What?
You know, just to see how you were doing. And I was like, they're doing great. He's like, good, that's all I want.
This is where you've chosen to get involved. And then she's like, Gypsy, I just need to let you know that I did talk to Ken and he asked how you're doing and he misses you. Why would you tell her that? And then Gypsy is like, oh, I miss Ken. And I told Ryan that I miss Ken. And Christy's over there like, but you gotta follow your heart, girly. These people are married. Gypsy and Ryan are married. This is not just like, oh, we're dating. Oh, we were just dating for a couple of months. There is marriage involved. There's a dog involved now. There is like stuff and things and emotions and money and life involved here. And you're choosing to meddle and be like, well, your ex-boyfriend said he only broke up with you because he loved you so much that he had to let you go so you could find your way back to him.
He had told me that if he loved you enough, he needed to let you go so you could find yourself. That's what he told me he did.
So, is that why he ended things with me?
What a crock of shit. Ryan's like, Christy, what the hell? And then the dad is telling Christy, stop it. Like, stop this. Like, this is not our lives to be involved in. Like, if Ken needs to talk to Gypsy, he should reach out to Gypsy. And their daughter, Christy and Rod, the dad, had a daughter. So this is Gypsy's half-sister. She is like the only level-headed person in this entire show. She literally sits with her mom and is like, Mom, what the hell? Like, why did you tell Gypsy all this? Like, why are you involved in this? Why are you talking to Ken? Why are you trashing Ryan?
You played a big role in their thing.
Well, you know, she needed to know the real reason why he ended it.
Did she?
Yes, she did.
He should have told her that, not you.
I wouldn't have liked if Ryan would have dogged Ken after he knew the real truth.
He did.
That is still not your place.
Well, I didn't say it was not. I said, this is my opinion. This is
And he had every right to hate Ken and all that.
Well,
He has every single right, so let him feel the way that he feels. Then why are you saying that you wouldn't want him talking about Ken like that? That is his feeling.
He has a better understanding
Oh my gosh.
of why.
I'm not doing. Okay.
I mean,
conversation done. I'm not. Before I get pissed off, I'm not talking about it
from
no
all
more.
different angles.
I'm with her on that one. Why did Christie do this? I can't stand Christie. Moving on. I talked briefly about the half-sister. Won't say too much because I really like her. She seems level-headed.
A little different thing between Ryan and Ken for me is that Ken knew that Gypsy was still married. Where's your respect for Ryan? You may not like the guy at all, but like that, for me, that says a lot about your character. Y'all are making irrational decisions based on short-term happiness instead of, thinking long-term.
She's the one that sits Gypsy Rose down to talk about, like, hey, are you on birth control, girl? Like, do you need help getting on birth control? Like, can I do something to help you? Again, she's yelling at the mom. Stop talking to Ken. Stop trashing Ryan. Shout out to the half-sister. God bless you, girl. You are the only level-headed person in this entire family. Shouldn't say that. The dad, he seems pretty chill. He's not in the show too much. Seems pretty normal. He also is very like, Gypsy, please be careful. Gypsy, please make good decisions. But you can tell he's trying to not be like overbearing about it because I don't think Gypsy would respond well to that. So I get it. He's in a tough position. He seems okay. Not much to say about him. Ken. It has been explained, I believe in the original Lifetime documentary that they did like last year, that Ken and Gypsy broke up because Ken didn't like the spotlight and he didn't like the attention that he was getting being with Gypsy and the attention that Gypsy got. So he wanted to live a kind of quiet, out of the way life. He broke up with her because of that. I don't know if that's true, but whatever. In this show, he makes an appearance. He's like, I'm going to do an interview and I'm going to say my piece. Fine. I respect that. People are talking about you online. Christie's talking to you. Gypsy's talking about you. Ryan's talking about you. You want to clear your name. You want to say your side of the story. I respect that. Good job, Ken. I'm going to go back to Ken is a weird creep because he wrote Gypsy Rose in prison. Why did you want to marry her? Why did you want to be with her? That still lives over here. But I respect the fact he wanted to do the interview on the show. Gypsy ends up leaving Ryan. She's like, I would be happier with someone else. He's like, oh, you're going to be with Ken. Yeah, of course she's going to go be with Ken. We all knew this from the jump, dude. She was always going to end up with Ken. I feel like Ryan was like, if I marry her, I will lock her in and she'll move on from Ken and she'll be like, well, she's married to me now. Like, I'm locking her in. I got her by the balls. That didn't work out because she still went with Ken. It was always destined to be Ken. For now. Kitties. They're going to kill each other on the floor real quick. Gypsy leaves the husband. Yeah, great. Almost instantly, and she doesn't really say anything to Ryan like, no, it's not about Ken, like I'm just not happy with you, blah blah blah. Yeah, 10 minutes later Ken's jumping out of a truck at her parents' house to go meet her. Like, of course she's with Ken. Yet again, I go back to originally this man broke up with her because he didn't like the spotlight, blah blah blah. She's bigger than ever now. She's on reality TV, and now you're gonna go be on reality TV with her and you're like, oh, but I broke up with her because I didn't like the spotlight. Okay. Sure, Ken. Sure. They sit down with the dad. The dad is like, please do not get pregnant. I don't care that you guys are together. I like that you guys are together. That's great. That's dandy. That's fine. Happy. You're happy. Please do not have a baby.
I don't want you to hide if you're in love. If y'all are in love,
show it.
It's the best feeling in the world. You will control your life, baby, your whole life. Don't hide your feelings anymore. Be you. She wants a baby.
What?
I can tell, bro.
What?
I don't know.
Where does this come from?
Look, I don't know.
I'm going to tell both of y'all, just wait, okay? Okay. Make sure y'all give y'all relationship a chance to develop without the stress of
Well, one
For sure.
baby.
additional burdens. Okay?
minutes pass, a breath passes, and Gypsy Rose is pregnant. She has not been out of prison 6 months, and she's pregnant. I don't even know. I need to move on to my last topic. My last topic is Gypsy Rose Blanchard herself. We need to discuss this woman, because I was so for her, like so standing behind her. What? So behind her when she first got out of prison. I was like, yes, girl, live your life. Live the life you couldn't live for your whole life. You go, girl. And this show just does not make her look good. I am struggling with where I stand with Gypsy Rose, because there is stuff coming out like on the daily. Like, I may have to do a part 2 to this, because there is stuff coming out on the daily about her and like her involvement in the murder, her like manipulation, and her like mind games that she plays and stuff. Just weird shit is just coming out on the daily, and it's like, I don't think she's as good as we all were like thinking that she was. And I think a lot of times people forget, people just look at, oh, she was a victim of her mom. And I completely understand that. I respect that. I get it. And I feel for her in that regard, because that was horrific what her mom did to her for her whole life. But I think a lot of times we all forget she was heavily involved in the murder of her mother. And it's like, oh, people just kind of put that aside, like, well, she was a victim, like that was all she could do. That was all she could do. And I'm not here to talk about that. But I think we also forget about, yes, she was a victim of her mom's. But her mom had her so trained to manipulate and put on this face and this facade to people, every single person in their lives, for years. If you were doing that for so many years, like, she probably hasn't stopped. And you can see it in this show. She lies multiple times. Like, you can see her say one thing and say another thing 20 minutes later. And literally the fact she's like, oh, like, my marriage is stable. Oh, I'm not over Ken. I still love him. And then she's like, oh, I'm not talking to Ken, to her husband. And then she turns around and she's like, I've been in love with Ken the whole time we've been talking. It's like, she lies to everybody. And the show, like, kind of tries to make her seem like the good guy and seem like Ryan is, like, manipulative and controlling and stuff, which I think he is to a point. But she also manipulates and controls. And, like, I don't know. I just don't think I'm as big of a stan as I was before. And, like, now she's back with Ken. She's pregnant. Why did you get pregnant, girl? Like, this was an easily avoidable situation. And I just don't think it's going to get any easier for them. I give them 6 months. They'll be broken up. I don't even think they'll make it till the baby comes. I think they'll be broken up before the baby's born. She also is like, yeah, it's Ken's baby. It's Ken's baby. I'm so confident in that. And then Ryan's over here being like, she texted me and be like, I don't know who the father is. Like, it might be you. It might be Ken. I don't know. She's just messy. And I just feel like at the end of the day, the best thing for her that she could have possibly done is just get out of prison, lay low, live a quiet life, and try her best to be normal and stay away from all these men who wrote to her in prison. Find a nice man outside of prison, a normal, run-of-the-mill guy, and live a quiet life. That was the best thing for her. And she is doing the complete opposite of that. I worry for her. I just don't think she's okay. And I don't think anyone's asking if she's okay, because I think everyone's just like, oh my God, she's pregnant. I love that for her. She's gonna be a mom. She's gonna be a way better mom than her mom was to her. Why is no one asking, is Gypsy Rose okay? Like, I don't think she's okay. I don't think anyone in this situation is okay. I don't think anything about the situation is okay. And I think Gypsy Rose needs to just sit down with a therapist for several years and chill. That's all I'm going to say for today. I've run out of breath. I've run out of willpower. I'm done. If you want me to talk about Gypsy Rose more, let me know. I promise next I will have a Dance Moms video for you. And I hope that you all have a beautiful day. Peace, love. Pray for Gypsy Rose.